Okay, in this video we're checking out the iCharger X6. This is a pretty nice compact smart charger. In terms of features, in terms of the power and such, it's similar to the iSDT T6, which is a model that I don't have and I haven't reviewed. But in terms of size, it's more like this iSDT smart charger, the SC608 and I think the Q6 Plus. Obviously the power output way different here, and it's only 150 watts here, and the Q6 is like 200 watts. The iCharger X6 is 800 watts and 30 amps. And I'll just show you all the specs here real quick. Typical input voltage, I think it's up to 8S, 30 amps, 800 watts, and then has this interesting new feature that the iSDT chargers don't have, is regenerative discharge capability. So their discharge capability is higher, and it has this regenerative ability where it could take the power that you're trying to drain out of a certain battery and put it into the input battery. So if you want to charge up your large Lipo pack that's going to be charging your smaller packs, you can do that using this feature. So that's kind of new. It does a typical 2 amp 6S and all of these different batteries here. So I'll also show you which comes in the box as well. Get the charger, of course, and get the CD. I think the manual's on there, and then you get a couple of these adapter cables. Anyway, just taking a look at the charger itself here. You got input power in the back and a USB port. It's a micro USB port. That's for firmware upgrades. And I believe you can also hook this up to a computer, and this is very sophisticated. You can get a lot of information and data to a program on your computer. There's this little stand that pops out of here in the bottom. You could use that to prop it up on a table so you get a little better view of the screen. On this side here you have your vents for ventilation, and on this side you have your ducts or your fan coming out for exhaust, and then there's a little dial here for controlling the interface, and here's your output power XT60 plus your balance lead. You have this servo lead here. I'm not exactly sure what that's for, and then you have a micro SD card where it'll store data regarding your charging. And this is obviously a smart charger. It's it's got a lot of features in terms of control, things you can do to your Lipo and how to charge it, and the various ways you can charge the different cells. It's very sophisticated, and I think that's a good thing if you want a lot of control in terms of how you charge your batteries. But it's also, I think, a hindrance in terms of usability. And that's kind of why I kind of like the user interface on the iSDT chargers better. It's just simple, it's very quick and easy. You can charge what you want. On here, on this charger, there's a set of programs that you can set up, and then you can re-access those very quickly to charge any battery. But the problem is, if you change the battery, for example, from say a larger 4S, say like 1300, as I say, well, a micro battery like say a 653S or a 553S, then you have to change the program or add another program to charge that battery. So this charger is going to be good for if you charge like one type of battery all the time. It's very quick. So if you only charge 4S 1500s, you set up a program for that battery, and then you should be able to charge up very quick. I'll show you this real quick in a second. But if you have a variety of batteries like me, then you have to set up a separate program for each one, which is kind of a hassle. So I'm just gonna let me just show you that. Plug in a battery here, and we'll power it up. And it's going to switch to this interface here. And this is the basically the screen that shows your voltage and amp and watts, and then the voltage levels of all the different cells. A lot of information. It's pretty typical of stuff that comes with like on the iSDT chargers. And then we're going to plug in a battery to charge, and I'll show you the charge process here and how it can be kind of a hindrance. Okay, so my input battery here is a 1500 4S, and I'm going to charge up this 652S. And you can see we have the cell voltages of the two cells in there, and then you have to control everything with this wheel dial here. That's another thing I don't like about this, is this dial is kind of not that easy to use. So you're going to press the button, and then you're going to bring up these programs here. And if you just charge with the program that's preset in here might have the wrong amp output, so you might be charging at more than the C rating that you would like for this particular battery. So you have to actually alter the program. So you have to press and hold the dial, and then you have to select edit, and then here you can change the program. So you can change it to, for example, this is going to be a charge program, and then here you can change the current. So it's a 650 milliamp hour Lipo, and I normally charge at about 2C, so I could probably increase that. So I'm going to bump that up to 1.2 amps because I only have one battery on here, and then to set that. And here you have different charge modes like normal, balance. Let's go back here. And this wheel dial is really challenging to use. You have fast balance, user balance, and then you can do not balancing. Slow balances if you want to really well balanced. I'll just use normal balance. So you can change all of these settings for every program. So basically, for the, I'm setting this program up for this type of battery here, and you'll have to do that for. So if I have a 3S battery, I'll have to change the settings and everything as well, because they, unless it's also a 650, if it's a smaller or bigger one, then the C rating is going to be different. There's also advanced settings here. Restore lowest voltage 1 volts per cell. Restore charge time 3 minutes. These are just things I'd probably just leave as defaults here. But you can change all these for every particular battery if you want. Go back. Oh yeah, let's see what's under safety. I think here, yeah, there's cutoffs for temperature if the battery gets too hot, and maximum capacity. Right now, there's also a safety timer you could set. So I think if it's left alone for so many minutes or whatever, it'll shut off or stop charging. It's gonna leave that off for now. It's just for demonstration purposes. And then, okay, so we're gonna select charge. This is, I didn't want to do that. So this is somewhat cumbersome to use. This dial really makes it difficult. Okay, so, oh my gosh, really hard to use. Okay, so under cells, I'm going to leave it as auto, but you can actually set the number of cells here. So 1S, 2S, 3S, etc. I'm going to leave it as auto. And the capacity, I think you can set the capacity of the battery here. I'm just going to ignore that. Okay. Oh my goodness. I keep doing things that I don't want to do because this dial is really hard to use. Okay, now I can save. And now that program is now saved under that memory selection 0. And I think there's up to like maybe 15 or 16 you can put in here. So if you have a different battery, then you're going to have to change that program setting. Otherwise, it's just going to use the settings for this 2S Lipo for whatever Lipo you happen to connect, and it might not be ideal for that one. So now that we have that set, I can go ahead and select that particular memory, and then we'll hit charge and then hit yes, and then here it will start charging, and then you can see all of the information here showing up, the amount of amps and watts, etc., and the voltage. Okay, so while it's charging, you can scroll the dial wheel here and look at some of the other data, like the internal resistance. It's what it's measuring here for these two cells, and then other information you can see here. And yeah, it'll just basically charge up the battery, and then it'll beep at the end and say it's done. That's pretty typical of, like I say, an iSDT charger. It's just like every time you want to charge a different battery, you have to then alter the program, or you have to create a new program for the new type of battery. So, like, I have just every type of battery imaginable. So this charger just wouldn't be ideal for me, because I'm constantly changing the program. And you can see, just to change the program was difficult because of this dial here. Now, if you have one type of battery that you charge all the time, or you're going to be charging a certain way all the time, and you can just set up one program, then you can just select that program immediately and get charging. It'll be totally fine for you. But it's not good if you have a lot of different kinds of batteries, and it just makes it kind of cumbersome to use this particular charger. Okay, so see if I can stop this. I'm going to press and hold. I press and hold, and I think that should yeah, that stops. So if I press and hold the dial here, that stopped the charger. Anyway, so overall it's a pretty powerful charger. It's got a lot of features. I just think that the user interface isn't for me. If you don't like the iSDT interface, you may like this one better, or this may suit your needs better. Just for my particular purposes, it's not the charger for me. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad charger. It's just I'm saying that the wheel interface and the user interface here and the way you have to use this charger doesn't make it suitable for my particular needs. So for me, it's not a great charger, but it might be for someone else. That being said, I'm not going to be using these chargers, so I'm going to go ahead and give this away to one of my Patreons. I don't know if you guys knew or not, but I've set up a Patreon account. I just started last month in November, and yeah, so if you guys want to support me for a little $2 a month and help me bring out these kind of reviews without any sort of loyalty to any particular vendor or manufacturer, supporting me on Patreon is going to help a lot, and I'm going to be pretty much giving away most of the stuff that I don't use anymore, which is a lot of stuff right now that's been piling up. A lot of it's going to be going to my Patreon. So if you want to get in on the giveaways for the Patreons, sign up, and this will be one of the items in the December giveaway for my Patreons. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the review. This is just my honest opinion on this particular charger. Not for me, but it could be for someone else. And hopefully, whoever receives this as part of the giveaway will enjoy using it and will find it very useful. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.